Welcome to Dave's Garage. This is episode 10, part 4. Now in this episode we're going to cover one of the inner workings of your helmet which is the fan system. Now even though we cut holes in the frame to let some air in, we want to be able to circulate that air, and from my friends have told me, and also from wearing the helmet just for a couple of minutes, you really do require a small fan system in there to help with the circulation. And I know it's a modification that a lot of people do. I recently put a poll up on one of the forums asking people whether they have a fan system or a speaker system or both in their helmet. Also whether they bought it or they made it. And a lot of people have the fan system and most of them made their own. So this gave me inspiration to make mine. You can also buy a pre-made fan system. If you go on eBay you'll be able to find them. There are some excellent ones out there. Of course they are more expensive than making your own, but really not by much. But if you're making your own you have more creative freedom. That's really what I wanted to do. So there are some good ones that I know of. A gentleman who has a company by the name of Skull Works, and that's works with an X, not a K. He makes a all-in-one fan system with a speaker system, which apparently I've heard some very good reports from and reviews. I put a question on one of the forums and everybody who responded had good things to say. I won't talk too much more about the speaker system. We're going to go into that into another episode, but this we're going to concentrate on the fan system. Now, as you may have seen on episode 10 part 3, I mounted inside of my helmets 2 battery holders. Now pretty much everything that I've bought for this project I bought from a local Radio Shack. You can go online and find them cheaper, the pieces that you need. It's really up to you. I don't recommend it either way. I just was lucky that I found most of the pieces that I needed in one place, so that's why I picked them up. So here is the fan system that I came up with or designed myself. It's a small 9-volt battery, a connector going to a small laptop fan with a switch to be able to just switch it on and off. Okay, so the pieces are here for the fan system. The small fan itself, battery, piece of conduit, battery connector. Now you can use it quite a few different switches. I chose this little micro mini toggle switch, which can actually be mounted to the bottom of the armor, where I can just switch it on, switch it off from the outside. And I may do that later on. At the moment, to switch on and off, I have to take my helmet on and off. That may become annoying after a while, so I'll see about that in the future. So I've soldered my 2 positive pieces together, and now I need to solder the 2 connections of the negative to the switch. To cover up those connections, you don't have to do this, you can just use a piece of black tape. I just really like using the heat shrink tubing to cover up all of my connections. So everything's been soldered now, and I've put the heat shrink on there, put it over the heat, and it's shrunk it nicely to cover all the connections. No bare wires are showing. To make sure that everything's working, just plug it in. There you go. Now, as for how to mount it in the helmet, I'll show you that next, but all I really have to do to finish this part is to stuff all of the wires into my piece of split conduit here, and you can have your switch coming out at either end of it. It's up to you. You may notice on this one I've got this little piece of plastic. It's just this little piece of plastic I found. You could make a little white washer if you wanted to. Just something to stop the switch from falling into the tubing is what it's for. So let's go and show you how I'm at this. So to install the fan systems into the helmet, you send the battery brackets. And what I've done to attach the fan to the helmet itself, I've put the industrial strength Velcro, a strip of it across here, and obviously the other side and the inside of the helmet. And hopefully you can see this. I attach the fan to the Velcro, and then put the battery in its holder. Switch it on. Now I have seen people make mounts for their fans, but the Velcro seems to do a really good job of holding it on there. To prove it, there you go, give it a good shake. The fans have not moved, the batteries have not fallen out, the switches have not switched off. The Velcro has done a really good job of holding it in there. So that's how I did the fan system. Now as for the cost of this, I think the fans were about $12 each. The battery connectors came in a pack of 5. I think they were about $5 or $6. You don't have to use the shrink wrap, you can always use just a piece of tape. And the only real other expense was the switch, and that was like $2. So each fan cost me, if you use this, of course there's plenty of it, probably cost me, let me see, 12, probably about under $18, including the battery and the mount. The battery mounts came in a 2-pack as well, also from Radio Shack. So under $20 per fan system. Now a friend of mine says he can find these fans online for as little as $2 each. So maybe if you look, you can make it for a lot cheaper. Maybe you can make them both for under $20. But that's the design that I came up with. Now the nice thing about this is the Velcro, if I decide after wearing it that I want to put both of the fans in the front, I can just put another piece of Velcro there and just literally move it over. Or if I want another fan at the back, or wherever, it's quite easily adaptable. So there you have it, that was the fan system. I'll see you in the next part for the speakers.